What is up, y'all? Coach David here. Back roll like this. Oh, okay. We're gonna talk about crawling today. Cut. All right, we're gonna talk about crawling today. First things first, I'm gonna open this window real quick. 3 kinds of crawling we're gonna talk about today. First is the baby crawl. So if I'm starting on hands and knees just like a baby, I'm thinking hands under shoulders, knees under hips, toes in, heels out. What do I mean by that? So I can press into the tops of my feet and the outsides of my shins just to kind of turn on my backside. If you know the rockers, I encourage you to play with a couple rockers, find my glutes. Nice. Now we're going to take our first crawl step. So I'm going to pick a side, load into it. I'm going to pick my right, load into it, release forward, take my first crawl step. Now I'm in my left glute. I got a strong right shoulder, strong left hip. Take my next crawl step. Strong left shoulder, strong right hip. Boom. You can play around with these little pull-offs to help you kind of exaggerate the rotary action. I'm rotating, opening left, loading left, stepping right, loading right, stepping left, loading left. The regular crawl looks like this. So regular baby crawl. I'm looking around. What are my hands and my shoulders doing? I'm thinking about middle finger straight ahead as far as shoulder alignment. I'm thinking left side bend, left shoulder pack, left lat. When I'm on my left side, step over to my right, right shoulder pack, left shoulder pack, right shoulder back, little side bend, left shoulder back, little side bend. And then we can sew it all together. Loading left, opening left, little side bend left. Loading right, opening right, little side bend right. Boom. Head over left, head over right. Let my spine move, column to column. Just like a baby. It honestly kind of sounds weird, but it helps me to imagine I'm a baby. And I'm just crawling, looking around my environment, just moving. Next crawl is the jaguar crawl. Basically a turned up baby crawl. So before we had tops of our feet on the ground like this, like seal feet. We're gonna pick them up now so we're toes in the ground. You can play around with your baby crawl like that as well. Toes tucked baby crawl. Boom. Those are super awesome. For our jaguar crawl, after we find our toes tucked, strong hands under shoulders, knees under hips position, and we're spreading wide, feeling our glutes, we're gonna lift up from there. From there, we're gonna take our first step. Left hip strong, right shoulder strong. Thinking about keeping our kneecaps close to the ground and pulling our hips up and back to keep this in the backside. Now we're gonna take our next step. Boom. Same as the baby crawl, we're letting ourselves open left, load left, open right, load right, loading out to in. These are the jaguar crawls. Can get real side bendy, real jaguar-like with these. Boom. Remember to keep your, not necessarily eyes up to the point where you're straining your neck, but you don't want to be looking down at your knees per se. Keep everything long, decompressed and strong. Jaguar crawls. Last but not least is our bear crawls. These are my personal favorite actually. So hands and knees. We're gonna send the hips up and back, almost like kind of like a smaller downward dog. From here, we're gonna do pretty much the same thing, except with kind of straight-ish legs. So I'm gonna pull my hips up and back to find the back side of my legs and create some tension there. Nice. Now once I find that, I'm gonna take my first step. Left foot, right hand, keeping everything nice and tight. When I take my steps, I want to think about keeping my reset leg nice and tight as it comes through, and then sets nice and strong. Boom. Tiny side bend, tiny side bend. I like to get real finessey with these. Real slow, feel it out, straightish legs. Think about really pulling your leg through to help accentuate using the backside. Boom, big pull. Glutes, hamstrings, big pull, little side bend, shoulder pack, little side bend, boom, and just play around with it. It can be real kind of meandering bear is what I call this one. Just chill, just kind of meandering bear, or it can be a more hyped up, more side bendy bear who's out for blood, right? Real freaking, I'm about to eat all the salmon kind of bear. Real side bendy, right? So play around with all the crawls. Crawling after a recode is fantastic. Nowadays I'm doing like 10 minutes mixing all my crawls after my morning ground recode, and it feels amazing. When I'm walking throughout the day, I can feel a new level of awareness in the backside and strength in the backside, so that's great. Have fun with your crawls. Coach David out.